Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles, and I welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and where we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And today we have an episode for you guys that you definitely want to stick around for. So make sure you go ahead and like the video and subscribe to the channel. Now, LeBron James has been a Laker for about 4 years now, right? He's been with this team for for quite some time, and ever since he got to LA, it has been full of ups and downs, highs and lows, right? That's pretty much been the story since LeBron became a Los Angeles Laker. His first year with the team, during his first season, the Lakers did not make the playoffs. They were not a very good team, and they were full of a lot of young guys like Kyle Kuzma, I think Brandon Ingram, and others. Maybe Julius Randle was a part of that team, if I remember. I'm not 100% sure. Then the second season, they traded for Anthony Davis, and I think they made it to the NBA Finals where they won the championship in the Orlando bubble against the Miami Heat. Y'all remember that? Then the third season of LeBron in LA, I think AD got injured at the end of the season, and they ended up losing in round one against the Phoenix Suns, who ultimately went to the NBA Finals and lost to the Milwaukee Bucks last season. And this season, the Lakers were so terrible that they pretty much weren't even good enough to make it into the play-in tournament. And this season, in my opinion, this last season here is the one that really, is the one that really took the cake in terms of just how bad of a season it was. And now we're sitting here basically trying to, pick up the pieces. And now the Lakers are without a coach, and they're seeking guidance from other people outside the organization. And one of those people that they're seeking advice from is their former head coach in Phil Jackson. And if you guys remember, at least Laker faithfuls who are watching this particular video, y'all know that Phil Jackson was a pretty big deal in LA, right? He helped that team. He helped deliver 5 championships to the team. And during his tenure, I think the team made it to 7 NBA finals. They lost one to the Boston Celtics in 2008. And then the second finals that they lost, I believe, was in 2004. To the Detroit Pistons with Ben Wallace, Rip Hamilton, I think Rasheed Wallace, Chauncey Billups, and these guys. So, but the Lakers were very successful, obviously winning 3 in a row and then 2 in a row back-to-back, with beating the Orlando Magic and, the Boston Celtics when they got payback on them in 2010, right? So now they're seeking guidance from Phil Jackson, and that bit of news has really made some people pretty upset. Why? Because of the relationship or lack thereof between Phil Jackson, reportedly, and LeBron James. As y'all know, during Phil Jackson's tenure with the New York Knicks, I think it was the team president, if I'm not mistaken. I think he got $60 million for that gig. He came out there and made some comments about LeBron's posse, and obviously that didn't sit very well with him. So this morning we were doing some research, and I stumbled upon an interview between Doug Gottlieb and Bill Plaschke, who's been a longtime LA reporter. And during this report, Bill Plaschke dropped some major bombshells that we want to play for you guys. So before we go too far, take a listen to what Bill Plaschke had to say to Doug Gottlieb here on Fox Sports Radio, and then we're going to come back and unpack it and react to it. So take a listen to some of the things that he had to say here in the soundbite. Take a listen to that.
Right? It's the reverse of what they've done previously, which is trade for star players and give away all these assets that are really good players around the league. I don't think that just doesn't feel like the Laker way. The Laker way is acquiring stars, not trading stars. And, remember they held on to Kobe when Kobe wanted out. Obviously it was a different time and a different time in his career. But here's what I think. I think that at the end of it, LeBron plays for the Lakers. He's not a Laker. And that's a really...
All right, Doug. You're dead on, and I can tell you live in the area. You get it. You're exactly right. And he breaks... I'm gonna be honest, and I'm gonna write this when the season starts. I don't care if he breaks the record. I don't care if he beats Kareem. I don't feel connected to him in any way. And the town of LA doesn't either. So my point is, why keep him around just for star value? He can turn somebody else into a champion and help you rebuild. Get rid of him.
It's a crazy thing. What about Phil? I know he doesn't want to coach. I understand. And look, unlike some others, I actually still hold Phil in great respect. But because of his ability to deal with stars, right? Like that's the magic to Phil. Magic to Phil isn't just the triangle, okay? The triangle is an offense that was about spacing based upon how the game, I felt like used to be. It's still a spacing game, but it's changed and evolved. But still, the real Phil Jackson was he could handle stars. How would he handle this, especially considering he's made some comments before about LeBron and the posse comment, and whether or not you like that word or not, it still does ring true. Like, he rolls deep with his guys, and they come in and they try and run the show. How is that dynamic?
Yeah, I think we're going to know a lot more about what Phil thinks when we see what the Lakers do. I've heard that Phil would like LeBron traded. I've just heard that. But I've got nothing to back that up. No on-the-record stuff to back that up. But I think Phil, I do know that Phil would like them to keep Westbrook and try to make it work with him. And I do know, because when I asked Jeannie, I said, you got to trade Westbrook, right? She says, we got to hire a coach first and see how that works. So I think Phil, if Phil were physically able to do it, I'd support him being back on the bench. I would. But he's just not physically able to do that anymore.
Now, it seems to me, if I'm being 100% honest, it seems to me that Bill Plaschke is not the biggest LeBron James fan. I just got that sense from him during that interview. You guys can go check it out. It's in its entirety. But he said there were different points in that interview where he basically told Jeannie Buss, because he interviewed her, and he basically told her, like, listen, LeBron and these guys run your organization. LeBron and Clutch Sports run your team. You don't run your team. And she pushed back on him. She was like, no, LeBron and his team and Clutch Sports do not run the Lakers. I am I'm the CEO here. I'm the head honcho here. So listening to that report, it seems like he's not a fan of LeBron, right? Like, the way he was talking, I really got the sense that it could be that, number one, he just isn't a fan of the guy, or number two, or the other reason could be that he just probably feels like LeBron James is not a real Laker, and he's probably using the Laker brand to really enhance his own brand. And that could be one of it. But if we're being totally honest here, I think both parties are using each other. Some could say that the Lakers are using LeBron James for his star power to sell tickets, to keep them in the news, and also to help them sell jerseys, right? And there's a real reality to that, right? There is a real reality. You have a star player like that on your team, it's going to make you relevant. People are still going to come to see him play, and people are still going to buy NBA jerseys. Last time I checked, I think LeBron is leading the way in NBA jersey sales, or was, one of the leaders, or, led the way for the last 4 or 5 years, if I'm not mistaken. So there could be that, right? So you could say that the Lakers are using, but also you could say that LeBron is using the platform of the Lakers because he's in LA, right? He's in the movie capital, so he can, playing for the Lakers really helps his brand. Since he's been there, he released the movie Space Jam 2. He has his show, I think The Shop or something like that. So I think it's a symbiotic relationship. I think both parties are using each other, right? I think both parties are using each other. But back to the part about him saying that he's heard that Phil Jackson wants him to be traded. That's a big piece of news. That is a big piece of news that I believe is not going to sit very well with a lot of LeBron James supporters. I don't think they're going to be happy to hear that Phil Jackson wants LeBron James traded. Now, personally, I have said that the Lakers should consider trading away LeBron because, they should consider all options if they're looking to get better. And if they think that trading him away could help them make them get better, then they should consider it. I think it's the same thing that Stephen A. Smith said on ESPN First Take, and JJ Redick pushed back on him, for throwing that out there. But if that's what they want to do, they should consider all options. Now, if you're trading LeBron away simply because you don't like him, that's a different thing. But according to what Bill Plaschke is saying, he's saying that they would rather keep Russell Westbrook and trade LeBron. According to, he feels that that's what Phil Jackson wants. And if that is true, oh my God, people are going to be doing backflips over that one, because I'm sure it's going to piss off a lot of people. So to me, I'm just here reporting the news for you guys. And I think if a big media gets a hold of this story, it's going to send a lot of it's going to reverberate all throughout the sports world. So what I want to know from you guys is this. Number one, what do you think about Bill Plaschke basically saying that Phil Jackson wants LeBron James to be traded? That's the first thing I want to know from you guys. Secondly, do you think the Lakers are actually going to trade LeBron, or they want to keep him to ensure that when he ultimately passes Kareem, he passes Kareem in a Lakers jersey? Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section below. Again, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to make sure you go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell to be notified whenever we drop our content. And we'll catch you guys on the next episode. Peace.